The Rockets just beat Golden State, so it's tied up 1-1. We're going back to Golden State. Crazy game. Jalen Green went off for a career game. Will and I, we're going to talk about this show, and so stay tuned for this episode of the Bradeaux Will Show.
All right, and welcome back to the episode of the Bradeaux and Will Show. This is a very special episode because we get to talk about the first time the Houston Rockets have won a playoff game since 2020. The first time we've won a game since game one of the Western Conference semifinals against the Lakers in the bubble in 2020.
Wow.
It has been, say, Brad, I think you had the exact amount of days it's been since we won.
Yeah, 1,692 days.
Yeah, bro. It's been a long time. We went through some pretty dark times, some rebuilding years, right? But we came back. I feel like we're in a really good spot. I do want to make it very clear, at least from my perspective, that this is not a victory lap. This is not a series is over. We won the ring, none of that. We just won one game. We have to win 3 more. And there really won't be too many or too much celebrating or victory lapping for me until the series is over, and hopefully we're victorious, right? I want to win the series, so there won't be too much victory lapping until that's done. The job is not done, but I do think it's important to appreciate the milestones along the way and not forget the journey along the way. I think you're allowed to celebrate the small things like this, especially coming from a fan base, like I said, that hasn't seen their favorite team win a playoff game in 5 years. So let's talk about the game though. Brad, I think let's go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, man. Let's talk about Mr. Ramonde.
Got to talk about Jalen Green. Put up 38 points. He had 6 assists, 8 threes, 8 huge threes, and also had 3 steals. Now I'm going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the offense. He came to play. Now, again, this is a Jalen Green on ESPN. They threw up the graphic like, hey, he's averaging 5 points in his last 4 games. Nasty graphic. I am so happy Jalen Green came out and showed who he is today, because Jalen Green, when he's on, and I said it a few podcasts ago, if he's clicking like this, the Rockets are already a top 4 team as is. I don't know who's beating this team because they're that good defensively. They're that physical, and you get a scorer like Jalen, boom, again, everything clicks. So very proud of Jalen offensively. He's the youngest player to post a stat line he did in playoff history. Like that, like 38 points, 8 threes, 6 assists, 3 steals. Youngest in playoff history to do that. So, I mean, you can say what you want about Jalen, but it's one of the most talented players in this league. It just has to click for him on any given night. But yes, the offense was amazing, but I'm sure we'll bring it up too. The defense was outstanding today. Some of the best defense I've seen him play. He had Curry in the box. At the time of this episode, the NBA has not dropped the matchup defensive statistics. I'm going to pull that statistic as soon as it drops, and you're going to see it put on my Twitter, Instagram, anywhere. So look out for it. But he had Curry locked up today, and he played amazing defense. It wasn't just the 3 steals. He had a really good perimeter defense out there. So very proud of Ramonde, and I'm curious to see what Will has to say about the game because he really impressed me.
I won't reiterate much of what you said. I'll try to just summarize it myself. I mean, 38 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 70 true shooting. I'm just incredibly proud of the way that he did not let that first game define who he was, right? He bounced back in a very big way. He was in no small way the biggest reason that we won today. And I think he hit it on both ends of the court, right? He was obviously scoring, hit 8 threes. But he was also, like Brad said, he was playing some really good defense, some of the best defense I've ever seen Jalen Green play. And I just love the mentality to not get down on himself, to not feel sorry for himself, to bounce back. I don't remember if I said this on the last pod. I think I did. But the reason why I wasn't necessarily worried, and y'all, I do know on the last pod y'all could tell I wasn't worried, was because I was like, if Jalen Green is any level of a man, any level of a dog that he has been, heralded as ever since we drafted him, right? That was on the scouting report. This dude was a dog. If he was any level of that dog, the performance we saw him have on Saturday would not happen, or Sunday, my fault. On Sunday would never happen again. Like it's just no way, especially in the game too, the follow-up game. There's just no way he would follow that game up with that performance. That's why literally the whole time I wasn't panicking. I wasn't saying, demanding that he get traded instantly. That's why if you follow me on Twitter, I've been posting Jalen Green's best games or some of his best games all day. I'm like, man, I know what he's capable of. I know he can do it. And I believe he would. I believe from the jump that he was going to have a pretty big game today. I said a couple times on Twitter, I'm like, I think we're going to, I thought we were going to blow the Warriors out today. And I thought the reason we're going to blow them out, I thought we are going to have a really big game from Jalen Green. And that goes to show what Brad was talking about with our team. You know that there are some constants, right? Constantly is going to be good rebounding. Constantly is going to be good defense. That's going to be there. We held the Warriors under 100 points for the second time this year. We'll talk about that in a second as well. And so, we know the defense and rebound is going to be there. All we need is somebody to step up consistently offensively. Tonight it was Jalen Green, and just his explosion from an offensive perspective was all it took for us to blow out the Warriors. So,
Yeah.
I'll pass it back off to you, Brad.
Yeah. So outside of Jalen, we're going to talk about the other star in Houston. Let's talk about Alperen Sengun, who for 4 years we were told this guy was not going to be able to play in the playoffs. He wasn't going to be able to play defense in the playoffs. And this Houston Rockets team has held the Warriors under 100 points in these first 2 games. And Sengun has rattled off 26 points. He's rattled off 17 points in this one. I'll just lay out the stats. So 26, 9, and 3 steals first game. Second game, he's coming back with 17, 16, 7 assists, and 2 steals. So this is a guy who's averaging over 20, 10, and 2.5 steals and 4 assists in his first 2 career playoff games. And again, I haven't been able to pull the stat for that yet, but I will. Again, he's putting himself in some very good company at a very young age. He looks very comfortable in the moment, and I don't expect that to change. Again, this is a guy who's a Turkish MVP. He's coming to the league. He's balling out, and now he's on the biggest stage. And he's showing people like, yeah, I'm an all-star for a reason. I'm not just no give me an all-star kind of guy because I'm on the 2 seed. Now this guy can hoop. He's going against the Depoy finalists, right? And he's coming to play. So I got to give all my flowers to Alperen Sengun for showing up in these playoffs. He's looked amazing in my opinion.
Yeah, I want to reiterate that, man. Through 2 games in the playoffs, he's looked really good. I know the efficiency wasn't the greatest today,
right?
But what he did not do from a scoring perspective, he made up for in the rebounding category. He had 16 of those rebounds, 6 of which were offensive. He had 7 assists today, 2 steals. I saw him being active and aggressive on defense today. And a lot of people compared Sengun to Sabonis for the longest time, and
has he done this? Has he even Sabonis? Sabonis is a great basketball player, right? I don't think Sabonis has even succeeded like this in a playoff setting just yet.
No, I mean, like I said, it's 2 games, but no. And for me, it's just from a play style perspective, they don't play the same to me. Like, I had a verbal altercation with somebody that in the facts and stats room the other day and it started because someone compared Sengun to Sabonis, and I was like, that's a bad comp. Like, just not even from a playoff like rising perspective, just from a play style perspective, he doesn't play like Sabonis. And so to the fact that Alp is in real time destroying the narratives about himself as a player, so the guy who a lot of people, myself included, had question marks about how he would hold up in a playoff environment from a defensive perspective. He's doing that. This guy is beyond a liability on defense right now. I'm sorry, beyond not being a liability on defense. He is a genuine plus for this team from a defensive standpoint right now.
Agree.
And I think there's anyone who watches the game right now, you can tell how he's impacting the game on that end. And like I said, another thing he's doing for us, like I said, is the rebounding. Right, we're a team that's going to win through our hard nose, our grit. Doing the dirty work teams don't want to do, and Alp embodied that today by putting 16 rebounds on the board. Just different stuff like that, finding ways to impact the game without necessarily having to score, still being a great screener, still being a great teammate, just things like that. I want to make sure he still gets his flowers for it, even though he didn't have the most efficient game. I still say he's been super duper impactful for us, and we 100% do not win today if Alp doesn't play for us. So flowers to Alp on that one. We can go to Tari. I think Tari deserves some love here. Right?
I was going to Tari next too. So,
cool. In his 24 minutes, he had 14 points, 6 rebounds, and assists, 6 and 9 from the field, 2 from 3, 78 true shooting. And he's also somebody who I'm not gonna say that Tari played bad on Sunday, but I think he could have played better. There was a couple of plays that Tari had that kind of frustrated me, and I think he did a lot better job of that today. Now, to be fair, he had a lot of plays where he was running full speed in transition that kind of concerned me, but he converted them today. I'll give you credit, man, where credit is due. He converted them today, knocked down 2 very big corner threes, 14 huge points. The defense was there. I love what I saw from Tari Eason today. A lot of people probably won't give him as much love and as much flowers as he deserves, because a lot of it's going to go to Jalen Green. Rightfully so, Jalen deserves the love for his performance tonight. I think the rest will probably go to like Sengun and whatnot. But I think Tari Eason is the unsung hero of tonight's game. He's not going to get enough credit for how well he performed for the Rockets today.
Yeah, man. There's not a single player on the Rockets who dislikes the Warriors more than Tari Eason. So I always got to give him praise because he goes out there against his team and he's giving it 1,000%. This whole team is, but especially Tari Eason. He's bringing that energy. He came in today, as Will mentioned, 14 points, hit both of his 3-point attempts. So he's throwing towels at the Warriors in altercations. He's butting himself into separate altercations. I love everything he did tonight. Again, unsung hero in my personal opinion as well. But yeah, I always gotta give my flowers to Tari Eason. This is a basketball player that you want on your team, and I personally believe he's gonna be in Houston for a very, very long time. So I love the energy that he brought. That energy that he brings, like the kind of play style he brings, is perfect for a playoff setting. So I got to give him all the praise in the world as well. So big shout out to Tari Eason, and I'll write off another quick point. Will I just going off the top, recording after the game? Another quick point that a lot of people are going to be talking about is Jimmy Butler getting hurt. Yes, Jimmy Butler got hurt early in this game. The narrative people want you to hear is, oh yeah, a man undercut Jimmy Butler and injured him. Like it was like an intentional dirty play is what people are trying to spin it as. Please watch that replay and see Amen Thompson was almost pushed by Steve-O and Pods from behind, unorthodox, and Dre kind of stuck a foot out. I don't think any of it was necessarily intentional when I'm looking back at it. The kid, Amen Johnson, just lost his balance, and it hurt Jimmy Butler, sadly. I hope Jimmy's okay. I know a lot of Rockets fans say, I don't give a damn if Jimmy is hurt. You know, they didn't care when Chris Paul got hurt in Game 7. I totally get that too. I just wanted this Rockets team to beat these Golden State Warriors fair and square. And hey, a win is a win in the playoffs, regardless. So I'm cool with it, regardless. But I just want people to know, Amen Thompson did not do that intentionally, and I just had to say that on this podcast because I didn't like how I saw everyone was trying to spin it like that. And if the Rockets win the series, well, that's all we're gonna hear. Oh, Jimmy Butler not healthy. Amen Thompson hurt him, and I'm not gonna be having that.
I'm not even gonna pay that no attention. If you thought that Amen Thompson did that on purpose, like I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
Like it wasn't an intentional play.
Yeah.
Get well soon, Jimmy. I did want to I want to give Dillon Brooks some love because I think he's another guy who won't get a lot of love from tonight. He had 16 points, 3 rebounds and assists. He was 6 of 12 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line with a 62 true shooting. It's another guy out there who just kind of just made timely shots, right? You know, I'm not considering to say that he was, you know, just the most impactful guy in the world today, but I think that he played his role. He played his role very, very well. If you're getting 16 points from like your 4th, 5th option on offense, I think you'll take that every single night. 2 of 5 from 3 was huge. Play great defense as well. Dillon is just continuing to embody what a Houston Rocket's supposed to look like, and I want to make sure he gets his flowers for it every single time he performs well. Tonight he did.
Yeah, Dillon played really good as well. Again, same as, you know, Tari S kind of guy. You know, comes in with a ton of energy. Wasn't the best start for him shooting-wise, Dillon, but closed extremely well. Again, another huge reason why the Houston Rockets won this game. I love that the wing depth that they have that they can throw at, you know, Stephen Curry and the rest of these guards that they have. I mean, look, you have a guy like Amen Thompson who's in foul trouble early, 3 fouls in the first quarter. So it's big to have guys like Dillon and Tari out there who can, you know, take on that defensive load. So great game from him. Very excited to have him in Houston as well. Hopefully they don't get rid of him anytime soon.
It's a testament to our depth because
it is.
Amen did pick up 3 fouls in that first quarter.
Yep.
And he's someone who's super duper important to what we do. He's a starter for this team. Yep. And a lot of teams, if their starter, best defender, you know, you could argue he's the 2nd best player on this team. I think he is. Mm-hmm. If that guy goes down early, a lot of people's teams are kind of cooked.
Yep.
But we had guys like Tari, we had guys like Barr, we had guys like Dillon. Aaron Holiday only played 5 minutes today, but came in and gave us good 5 minutes.
He did.
You know, like having guys who were able to step up, and you know, another guy who I hate that he was hurt, so I think he probably got some burn here in light of Amen's injury. A guy like Jay Sean, I think might have got some burn in this game. You know, if he was healthy. So I think it's just a testament to our depth. And then I think I have 2 things I want to say. Then I'll
go ahead.
I'm not playing. We made free throws today. We shot better from 3 today. I thought we did a better job defensively on Steph Curry. And those are some of the biggest keys that I had from game 1 that, you know, I wasn't so I wasn't so nervous. Is we went out in game one, we went out there and missed 9 free throws. We shot, I believe, 21% from three. I thought we weren't as focused defensively on Steph Curry at times. There was too many turnovers, and a lot of those things were addressed. Obviously, our backcourt didn't play nowhere near as bad as they played during game one, and I don't expect them to play that bad ever again. So
Yeah.
I still feel very confident. My prediction for this series is Rockets in six. I still feel that way. I felt that way. That's why I wasn't like doom and gloom after game one. Still feel that way. I think we're going to split the pair in Golden State. I just hope that we win the first one. I think that one's a bit more important than the game four. Win game three, put the pressure on them. Don't let them put the pressure on us in Golden State, because I think it can get ugly at that point in time. So a huge game three ahead. And then I did when I think this probably will be the last thing I say. I might add something else later on, but
Go ahead.
I did want to end up playing with the Jalen Green commentary, right? Because I think people who listen to this podcast and follow me on Twitter, and who actually keep up with me, I think most people would say that I'm not a Jalen Green stan by any stretch of the imagination. I think a lot of times I think people think I hate him. And
They do.
Yeah, and I don't hate Jalen, right? But I think people think that I hate Jalen. But man, above everything else, dude, I'm a Rockets fan. I've been a Rockets fan before Jalen Green was drafted. I'll be a Rockets fan after Jalen Green hopefully retires as the Rockets legend, right? But no matter what his fate is in a Rockets uniform, I'm still gonna be here. And so when people were, people in the comments in the last video, people were on Twitter mad, people were on playback mad, all the good stuff. Why aren't you mad at Jalen? Why aren't you saying, F Jalen and trade him and all that good stuff? And it's like, that does nothing. You know what I'm saying? I can be mad at Jalen Green's performance all I want to, but that does nothing for us in the predicament that we're currently in. We're in a series where Jalen Green's gonna start at shooting guard for us, and he's gonna play a lot of minutes. There's nothing I can do. No amount of yelling and screaming on Twitter or on a podcast will get Jalen Green off this team before we play game two. So it's no point in me wasting my breath doing that. I'm going to use that energy to think of ways that he can be more impactful than what he was in game one. And then just the rest of it, man. As long as he's on this team, I'm gonna support him. That's why if you follow me on Twitter, I posted 7 videos about Jalen Green today. I wore his jersey on stream today. I supported Jalen because I know that he was on this team, and I want to win the game. And for us to win the game, Jalen had to play well, and that he did today. So, like I said, I'm super duper proud of him for bouncing back the way that he did. But like I said, I don't really know what fans want. A yelling and screaming about Jalen Green on Twitter and on podcasts is not gonna make us magically win a series. I regret to inform y'all that. If you want Jalen Green traded, it's nothing that I can do about that. Something you can do about that. Raphael Stone, the general manager, can't do nothing about it. We're in the middle of a playoff series, and so for as long as we're in this playoff series, I gotta root for Jalen, right? And that's not me saying that you gotta love Jalen. It's not me saying that you gotta think he's an all-star. He's the best player of all time. You can still want him traded for here, but for these next 7 games, he's here. So there's no point in us crying about it. Let's go and think about things that we can do, or things that he can do. I'm sorry. To be better, and then spend the rest of our energy just supporting him as best as we can while he's here, man. And that's my point, man. Was just it's nothing more we can do than think of ways so he can be better and support him. I'm super glad that Jalen bounced back the way that he did.
Yeah, I'll say a few things to comment on what you just mentioned. Starting off with Jalen, I put this out there. If you're not happy about that performance that Jalen Green just put out there, then you're just not a fan of the Houston Rockets. A lot of people are just fans of their opinion over the team in particular, and that's not a way to be a fan, in my personal opinion. This guy's just won their first playoff game in over 1,500 days. And if you're not happy about that, then I don't know what's going on. You got to be excited for this team. Amazing win, superstar type performance from Jalen. As Will mentioned, you just got to root for your guys in the moment. You can't do anything about it until the playoff series is over in the first place. So, great game from Jalen. I just hate to see people trying to downplay a win or just trying to be man, I don't like Jalen. Oh yeah, a solid game, whatever. No, that's 38 points, 8 threes, 6 assists, and 3 steals, and a huge, win over the Golden State Warriors. So, got to give Jalen flowers, as I mentioned at the beginning of the pod. I wanted to now carry over to, we're going to Golden State, 2 games. It's 1-1. Obviously, very big games. I did mention that Jimmy Butler did get hurt. Now, Will, if you think Jimmy is not playing in these two games. You still believe it's 2-2 going back to Houston?
I mean, I think no matter if Jimmy's playing, if he's not playing, I think the Rockets have to look at it like they're down 0-2.
I agree.
Like they have to approach it with that mentality that they have. They haven't done anything, right?
Right.
You. I look at it like I put like I'm losing, right?
Mhm.
That's the energy I'm gonna play with. Like it's a game 7. If I lose this game, it's series over.
Yeah.
Um, and so I guess kind of like this, the key going into to Golden State is it's going to be a loud environment. They're going to like that fan base is going to be very present in that game. We
Mhm.
know the officiating is not going to be on our side at all. It was not on our side tonight. Won't be on our side again in Golden State. So we have to continue to execute the way that we've been doing in the past. Same defensive, plan. We have to hold them, right? We have to make sure they don't get their games off. Pay a lot of attention to Steph Curry. Don't let him run off. I love the way they chased him around those screens today. Um, and then on offense, like I think that's really where we're going to have the biggest question mark. Is just somebody has to step up, whether it's Jalen, whether it's Sengun. It wouldn't surprise me if Dillon Brooks has a game or Fred Lee has a game where those guys go out there and hit 4 or 5 threes or whatever. So yeah, just from an offensive perspective, just somebody has to step up, or not just someone. Hopefully, multiple people step up. Right, we're going to need multiple effort, multiple bodies on the glass, multiple guys making open shots, just stuff like that. Play Rockets basketball. Like that to me,
Mhm.
that's what it is. If you play Rockets basketball, we're going to win. Um, and so yeah, like to answer your question, I don't know. Like I said, I just need them to go into them to like I said, game 3 might be the most difficult game outside of the
Yeah,
closer game
that's
itself. That
important. Game 3
that
is
might be
important.
the most difficult game they play
Yeah.
this series. That's all like I said, outside of facing elimination or um being on the verge of eliminating Golden State. That's gonna be the most difficult game we play because it's like it's the first game on the road. That energy in that arena is gonna be electric. Like I said, they're not gonna want us to win. The refs, they ain't gonna want us to win. The league
Yeah.
wants LeBron versus Steph. So they're gonna have to go into Golden State and take that game from them. And I have confidence.
We didn't even talk about how bad that officiating was
It's
today,
bad. It's
but
very bad.
I won't get into that. I will say this. I could see it going back 2-2 if Jimmy's healthy. If Jimmy is not healthy, I really believe the Rockets can go back to Houston up 3-1. And I say that to say I'm not impressed by this Golden State roster outside of Stephen Curry. Unlike from an offensive standpoint, when they're trapping him, there's not many advantages they can create. The thing I like the most about what the Rockets are doing, when Stephen Curry has the ball, he's the ball handler, and they're doing a pick and roll. The Rockets are going over the screen and they're having Sengun hedge, and so Steph is hitting the roller, and the roller for the entire series, and this is going back into the regular season as well, has not created a single advantage. And not created a single advantage. So when they're kicking it to let's say GP2 and he's rolling to the basket, usually someone's coming back for the help. They swing to the corner and boom, the Rockets are already back in a defensive position and they didn't create any advantage. So you're getting the ball out of Steph's hands. They don't have anyone who can create an advantage. And especially without Jimmy, it's going to be tough for them. So, I mean, unless Steph goes for 40 or 50, and I do like the Rockets scheme on Steph, and he went off for 30 in game 1, hitting spectacular shots, and he could definitely do that again. But this is a team who has now held Golden State under 100 points 3 times in a row. And again, without Jimmy, I personally don't see that happening. And if he does come back, I like I said, I hope he is healthy so we get a full Golden State team. But regardless, I don't really like Golden State's offense against this Houston defense. And I think Houston can overpower them physicality wise, which they have been doing. So I'm excited to see what they do in Golden State. It's going to say a lot about this young team going on the road for the first time in the playoffs in a minute. So it's gonna be fun. I'm excited to see what they do. But Game 5 is most likely gonna be the most important game in the series, whether it's 2-2 or whatever it is. We'll get to that point when we get there. But just excited to see this team finally get a win. But that's essentially what I had for this episode. Great defense on Steph. And that's the key to winning the series at this point. If you can lock down Steph, the offense is going to work itself out. So
I want to throw one more thing about Steph, and I think I'll have everything I wanted to say as well.
go ahead. Oh,
He
yeah.
played 37 minutes today, and then he played 40, I believe, on Sunday.
Yeah.
And the 37 he played today was with, I believe they pulled the plug around the 3-minute mark. So if it was a game that was close and going down to the wire, Steph probably would have played closer to 40 minutes again.
Yeah.
He's 36, 37 years old, playing a lot of minutes. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, especially if Jimmy Butler is hurt. This Warriors team has absolutely no idea how to run offense without him. Like it's honestly bad. He's going to have to do some like 2018 LeBron play every minute of the game, and he's getting up there. And I think right now when his legs are a bit more fresh,
Mm-hmm.
early in the series. There's 2 games. There's 2 days in between each game. I think his body kind of rest and recuperate. But I think this wear and tear, because Steph runs a lot. That's something too. Steph is like out there constantly running on offense and on defense. I think that's going to start wearing on him as the series progresses. And also as the series progresses, there's less rest days. I believe there's only a game in between game 5 and 6 and 7 as well. So like it's no longer 2-day rest. It's back to back. And this is also you get on a plane, right? Because game 5's in Houston, game 6 in Golden State. There's a game 7. It's going to be in Houston as well. So you're getting back on a plane every single night, immediate turnaround. I could see a world, like I said, especially if Jimmy Butler's not coming back, Steph could get gassed by game 5, game 6, if we go that far, right? Just because he's having to carry so much of an offensive load for this team. He's even if Jimmy Butler is there, he's gonna be carrying a huge offensive load. But especially if Jimmy Butler is not there, yeah, he's having to play a lot of minutes and do a lot of the heavy lifting for this team. And it would not shock me at his age if that starts to wear and tear on him as the series progresses. And that's another area where I think our youth, our athleticism can kind of be an advantage for us because we're not going to get tired. These guys are they rested the last week of the season, so that they're coming into the season somewhat with fresh legs, whereas Steph had to go into the play-in tournament. But also, like I said, we're young, right? These guys are 22, 23 years old. If there's one thing they have, it's energy.
Yeah.
So there's something else to monitor.
Yeah. Very important thing with this Rockets team. Young team, fresh legs. They can go for the entire game. And I don't see Steph pulling off anything 48 minutes wise. That's just not his kind of play style. So, again, we'll see. Going to Golden State, 2 big games. I think Houston can take both of them. We'll see. Will and I will be here to cover it. We appreciate y'all for always listening to the Bradeaux and Will Show. Will, if you had anything else to mention, he does not.
Again, no, I do. Actually, I do. Tap in with the Bradeaux and Will Show on TikTok. We're starting to upload clips from the actual episodes over on TikTok as well as Instagram and Twitter. But I think y'all already been kind of tapped in with us on those platforms. So the TikTok is the new one that we kind of just started launching. Make sure y'all tap in with that. Tap in with playback as a watch party. If you go to my page, I'll have it over there as a watch party for the Rockets game on Saturday. So if you're in the Houston area, you want to go to a watch party with other Rockets fans, you'll have that as well. If not, make sure you guys tap in with the playback. We'll be in there as well.
Yep.
I think that's everything. So, tap in with TikTok.
Yeah, big game if Will and I are doing a live reaction right after it drops. So, again, we appreciate y'all for listening, and we'll be back soon.